Do not marry idolatresses, unless they have believed. A believing maid is better than an idolatress, even if you like her. And do not marry idolaters, unless they have believed. A believing servant is better than an idolater, even if you like him. These call to the fire, but Allah calls to the garden and to forgiveness, by His leave. He makes clear His communications to the people, that they may be mindful. You commit no error by announcing your engagement to women, or by keeping it to yourselves. Allah knows that you will be thinking about them. But do not meet them secretly, unless you have something proper to say. And do not confirm the marriage attire until the writing is fulfilled. And know that Allah knows what is in your souls, so beware of Him. And know that Allah is forgiving and forbearing. If you fear you cannot act fairly towards the orphans, then marry the women you like, 2, or 3, or 4. But if you fear you will not be fair, then 1, or what you already have. That makes it more likely that you avoid bias. If you wish to replace one wife with another, and you have given one of them a fortune, take nothing back from it. Would you take it back fraudulently and sinfully? Do not marry women whom your fathers married, except what is already past. That is improper, indecent, and a bad custom. Forbidden for you are your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, your paternal aunts, your maternal aunts, your brothers' daughters, your sisters' daughters, your foster mothers who nursed you, your sisters through nursing, your wives' mothers, and your stepdaughters in your guardianship, born of wives you have gone into, but if you have not gone into them, there is no blame on you. And the wives of your genetic sons, and marrying 2 sisters simultaneously. Except what is past. Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. And all married women, except those you rightfully possess. This is Allah's decree, binding upon you. Permitted for you are those that lie outside these limits, provided you seek them in legal marriage, with gifts from your property, seeking wedlock, not prostitution. If you wish to enjoy them, then give them their dowry, a legal obligation. You commit no error by agreeing to any change to the dowry. Allah is all-knowing, most wise. If any of you lack the means to marry free believing women, he may marry one of the believing maids under your control. Allah is well aware of your faith. You are from one another. Marry them with the permission of their guardians, and give them their recompense fairly, to be protected, neither committing adultery, nor taking secret lovers. When they are married, if they commit adultery, their punishment shall be half that of free women. That is for those among you who fear falling into decadence. But to practice self-restraint is better for you. Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. You will not be able to treat women with equal fairness, no matter how much you desire it. But do not be so biased as to leave another suspended. If you make amends, and act righteously, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Today all good things are made lawful for you. And the food of those given the scripture is lawful for you, and your food is lawful for them. So are chaste believing women, and chaste women from the people who were given the scripture before you, provided you give them their dowries, and take them in marriage, not in adultery, nor as mistresses. But whoever rejects faith, his work will be in vain, and in the hereafter he will be among the losers. The hypocrite men and hypocrite women are of one another. They advocate evil, and prohibit righteousness, and withhold their hands. They forgot Allah, so He forgot them. The hypocrites are the sinners. The believing men and believing women are friends of one another. They advocate virtue, forbid evil, perform the prayers, practice charity, and obey Allah and His Messenger. These, Allah will have mercy on them. Allah is noble and wise. The adulterer shall marry none but an adulteress or an idolatress, and the adulteress shall marry none but an adulterer or an idolater. That has been prohibited for the believers. bad women are for bad men, and bad men are for bad women, and good women are for good men, and good men are for good women. Those are acquitted of what they say. There is forgiveness for them, and a generous provision. And wed the singles among you, and those who are fit among your servants and maids. If they are poor, Allah will enrich them from His bounty. Allah is all-encompassing, all-knowing. And let those who do not find the means to marry abstain, until Allah enriches them from His bounty. If any of your servants wish to be freed, grant them their wish, if you recognize some good in them. And give them of Allah's wealth which He has given you. And do not compel your girls to prostitution, seeking the materials of this life, if they desire to remain chaste. Should anyone compel them, after their compulsion, Allah is forgiving and merciful. And a man came from the farthest part of the city running. He said, O Moses, the authorities are considering killing you, so leave, I am giving you good advice. And when he arrived at the waters of Madian, he found there a crowd of people drawing water, and he noticed two women waiting on the side. He said, What is the matter with you? They said, We cannot draw water until the shepherds depart, and our father is a very old man. So he drew water for them, and then withdrew to the shade, and said, My Lord, I am in dire need of whatever good you might send down to me. Then, one of the two women approached him, walking bashfully. She said, My father is calling you, to reward you for drawing water for us. And when he came to him, and told him the story, he said, Do not fear, you have escaped from the wrongdoing people. One of the two women said, Father, hire him, the best employee for you is the strong and trustworthy. He said, I want to marry you to one of these two daughters of mine, provided you work for me for 8 years. But if you complete 10, that is up to you. I do not intend to impose any hardship on you. You will find me, Allah willing, one of the righteous. Beyond that, no other women are permissible for you, nor can you exchange them for other wives, even if you admire their beauty, except those you already have. Allah is watchful over all things. O you who believe! When believing women come to you emigrating, test them. Allah is aware of their faith. And if you find them to be faithful, do not send them back to the unbelievers. They are not lawful for them, nor are they lawful for them. But give them what they have spent. You are not at fault if you marry them, provided you give them their compensation. And do not hold on to ties with unbelieving women, but demand what you have spent, and let them demand what they have spent. This is the rule of Allah, He rules among you. Allah is knowing and wise. O Prophet! If believing women come to you, pledging allegiance to you, on condition that they will not associate anything with Allah, nor steal, nor commit adultery, nor kill their children, nor commit perjury as to parenthood, nor disobey you in anything righteous, accept their allegiance and ask Allah's forgiveness for them. Allah is forgiving and merciful.